This is the rundown on Wasteland 1988. So this post-apocalyptic role-playing game completely revolutionized the industry by introducing one of the very first persistent virtual worlds. First, the concept of persistence. In standard 80s RPGs, maps were totally static. Leave a room and the monsters just respawned. It was basically like a movie set resetting after every single take. But Wasteland was a living ecosystem. If you blew a hole in a wall, it stayed that way forever. Imagine playing a game where your mistakes can't just be undone by walking out the door. Kind of terrifying, right? Second, let's talk technical wizardry. Programmer Alan Pavlish pulled this off on just 64 kilobytes of RAM, using machine language. 64 kilobytes? That's literally less memory than a single modern email. And they fit a whole world in there? Since computers rarely had hard drives back then, the game remembered your actions by constantly overwriting data directly onto floppy disks. You actually had to make play copies so you didn't permanently ruin your master disks. Finally, this led to some brutal gameplay consequences. Because it constantly autosaved, players could fall into a save trap. If your team stumbled into an irradiated river and the game saved, you faced a slow, permanent death. There was no undo button. We take autosaves for granted today, but back then an autosave could literally doom your entire playthrough. Was that brilliant game design or just plain cruel? This punishing ripple effect laid the direct foundation for the Fallout series. Wasteland proved a reactive, living world was possible on a simple floppy disk, forever changing the DNA of role-playing games. Sometimes the biggest digital revolutions leave the most permanent scars.